1,000 megawatt we will promise, not even 10% will not be able to generate.
As far as we see Leone and they know, we don't concern for ensuring certain things the way Saloma need, like electricity. We not for even give me a chance to not cry for them.
When I then kind discussion can be every Sunday, now the program Salon today, where Radio Democracy they bring can to you with different issue them. We get to deal with security, policy, the economy, environment, and plenty other one them. Once it concerns national development. So listen Salon today every Sunday from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock after.
No matter who you be, let me make Salon and a bit. No say you follow. Let me pledge with love and loyalty to we country Sierra Leone. Let we come together, let we walk as one for the better of Salon.
I like for listen Salon today every Sunday because they bring out the issue we get for do with Salon development.
We not remove the machines, we not cut the cables, we not move the poles, the infrastructure,
environment, and plenty other one them. Once it concerns national development. So listen Salon today every Sunday from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock after.
We continue inside the studios. We just joined by Solomon Sundu, the Executive Director for Biwanki Foundation. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to Radio Democracy.
Good afternoon, Usman. Good afternoon, listeners.
All right, continue for the week inside the program. I over to you, Cineman Sarina, the Director of Relief Response at the National Disaster Management Agency. Before we can look at the topic proper, we get for do with collapse of building across the country. Waiting on the happen so now the National Disaster Management Agency.
Yeah, so let's just take this opportunity for give background about the establishment of the National Disaster Management Agency. As we all know, the management of disaster been done at the Office of National Security through the NASIA Act. Then, because I understand saying safe and don't review them, it been give the mandate to the ONS for manage disasters, whether man-made or natural. But along the line, then we discover say the mandates where ONS been get for manage disaster been make ONS a tight small because it just say natural or man-made disaster. So there was need for law we get a standalone institution where we go manage disasters whilst ONS will focus on security matters. So in 2020, then we enact the National Disaster Management Agency Act, where give the NDMA wide-ranging powers for manage disasters and similar emergencies throughout Sierra Leone. So from 2020, the agency don't into existence. It don't manage major disasters. Few among the major disasters we manage after its establishment. Now be the fire outbreak now. Susan's Bay, we affect large number of people. They also manage the Wellington fire incidents. That be major incident in this country. We will all know the impact and severity. We also manage flooding incidents that we don't take place in Culvert, Susan's Bay, and other places in our western area. And we also don't manage flooding at Bonds, the Riverine district, the Moyamba, the Bonds and Pujon district, also Cambia district. We get flooding. It's almost like recurrent flooding that they happen every now and then. And we're going to the dries again. We get lots of fire incidents the way they take place right across the country, but the western area they record, especially Freetown, they record more number of fire outbreak than other places. Where they get a lot of incidents that way don't they happen. Some parts of upline they get windstorm, where they get, of course, we know the new normal now when a building collapse, but I don't say we'll talk into detail as we move ahead with this program.
All right. Firstly, let's start off with the fire incidents. Them, wanna get any data in place for know the amount of fire them we wanna respond to?
Yes, we get data in place. Just that I know carry time, but we they get fire almost every now and then in our western area. Hosted the born, and we know the reasons why hosted the born. The man activity of men. You know, the disaster they all attribute now to man-made. What will they do? How will they cause them fire outbreak? But we get data we really they speak to fire outbreak now the western area and other places than across the nation.
All right. So waiting on be the role of the National Disaster Management Agency, especially where fire incidents can happen.
So the role of National Disaster Management Agency in fire outbreak, fire of course we know say a hazard before it transform into disaster. We go down burn the place now, it definitely become a disaster. Where fire can break out, we they get the alert say fire don't break out. I make anytime we go, we always they say managing disaster not to one institution can do, we can do them with other players. A major partner in managing fire outbreak now the National Fire Force. If we get information of fire outbreak, we can bring them to the National Fire Force, and Fire Force self, where then get information of fire outbreak, then can tell the National Disaster Management Agency. But the responsibility of putting out that fire, now the National Fire Force they do them. And putting out that fire Force also need police for really control the crowd around, maintain public order, let people not come for can't thief some items whilst the fire they go on. After them go don't put out the fire, especially if it affects a number of houses, the National Disaster Management Agency they come in, they come with in partners from government ministries, departments and agencies that they can do it to they call joint assessment for know the severity of the fire outbreak. Then after the assessment, will they register the affected population because they need support. We can try for gather this support, we come, we give them. If not big fire, we know say the guy can be na Susan's Bay and Krube. It can so big that we need for establish incident command center at the ground. We need for mobilize resources, food item, then life-saving things, then bring them. And also give them housing support so that housing, wash, some dignity support so they not go continue for so far. So the National Disaster Management Agency they coordinate that. Anytime we get fire outbreak, anytime we get the incidents and they for restore with people and back to usa them in day before the fire break out.
All right, even though una dey work with the fire force for say una get things right, the police self can dey around, but wetin are the common thing that we can happen we make us thinking born fast.
Yeah, so again we say other institutions and get very important role for play when it comes to managing fire. From we own perspective, wait till we don't discover say now they cause this fire, because when fire break, you go to the community, you ask them waiting cause the fire, they not go tell you. But you get one old community, they use 1 meter. 1 meter, you go to some of them places and you get about 60 family or more, they use 1 meter. So that's a major source of fire outbreak. You look at the cables the way that they use again for run denting, and it can be another source of outbreak. The kind of material that they use for building host and day, then materials and this something a palm body, some tending and other kind of structure we fire force can say the combustible material, they're easy for make them catch fire. So all the one and they contribute for make fire outbreak. Then some before this time when they get some people will tell you say that they cook inside the house, or they light candle, or they light mosquito coil, some other things. There are many reasons we're responsible for fire outbreak.
All right, when fire incidents can happen, you know, waiting basically una can give people at that moment today.
So one, we know say the fire don't come, it don't completely burn their house, they don't lost almost everything they get. We initially can start with the life-saving things then. Make sure say you don't sleep na do. If not tarpaulin, we get tarpaulin. If not building the way they around we cable house una, where they equip them building and they for make a house una first. If the number too large, where they begin truck water, where they bring food, they can do wet feeding, cook na the ground for some time, while to be able to mobilize other things then forgive them. The woman that you pay attention because they needs them specific, you look for specific things that they provide for woman them. You look at waiting necessary for picking them back, forget, you try for bring the items and the way they get to picking them. So you look all of that, you arrange them, wash condition, make sure say then get them dignity, then get them life, you provide for them. As soon as they go along towards the end of providing all of that, we can get need can they follow do cash transfer, we can give them cash so that then go able the cash they give you leeway for make you go rent back. You get partners that way they meet, we say well, a number of people that were affected, one provide give them some money, let them rent for this number of periods, from there they can able catch up and continue with their life. So they can carry with cash transfer, we'll also give them cash transfer, we open up, give you the ability now or the leverage for use them how you want to use them.
Alright, continue for the way to inside the program. In name na Cineman Sarina, the Director of Relief Response at the National Disaster Management Agency, as we there for look at issues we get for do with the rampant we have host and on the collapse across the country. I'll come over to you now, Solomon Sundu. You don't walk around different issues them across the country, and we know the disaster them presently at this moment where they happen. But firstly, let we take fire. from the civil society point of view, which one make up of some of the fire incidents that will happen?
I think say you don't throw all the question to the director, and I'm glad the way he highlights issues where they cause fire accidents and why it happen at all time. Me on question around that area they all the area they wouldn't get then fire disaster like where you talk about them Bay area, you talk about them slum area outside now at to reach area. They don't do times without number. They go with relief. They don't even give help or helping hand to them people and they providing building materials. You say host them we don't burn, we don't see them over the years. But the question now is why they not go do the needful? If really area then they like then decided to talk about Bay when disaster occur now at to which area, why did they manage them people and they up to this stage? Yeah, when they get a mandate for recommend. And the other area, are they working in collaboration with other agencies, Ministry of Lands, Ministry of Works, Housing and Country Planning, and other agencies? Because year in, year out, we don't find out, say, along the slum area then they, most of the disaster, like we likely mentioned, say, 1 meter, it will serve more than 20, 30, household. You look at the appliances the way they use now them houses and the people they check them. It's a way to go install a meter. They no one know all within they know now for just a meter. So if really they work in line with same other agencies then they why they not go put mechanism in place? Because every now and then fire take place or host them born. When I go meet some people, when I give them relief. When I not think say people will make an habit, because if you look at it and as scanty houses them, like we talk about trampoline, you give somebody trampoline. But if the other time come trampoline born, you get for good back for get trampoline. So for me, let we they talk about the problems. Let we talk about solutions. How they will able for solve them people have their issues. If there are a way where they will recommend say this area is not fit for purpose, or the way when I do on a meter system, when I recommend, right, so that we not go to encounter fire. We will not say it happen, because if you look at the entire city, not only the slum area, houses that they burn or na other areas then, but major area and then hard to reach area. Also you see people and just choke, you understand themselves. Then when we talk about the disaster itself, well, we only see over the years, we no blame disaster, we camp a natural disaster, because Sierra Leone, according to the world, then say we are the third prone disaster country in the world. But if we put measures in place, if we look at the hills top areas and the way people are not supposed to build, you get the mountainous area, you get the riverland area, you get areas in where nobody not fit for live. Before the people to go take them land, or why I say just now, if they work with the other ministries, departments and agencies, if somebody they give land, when I don't go check the ecology, when I don't go test the soil, or when I don't make sure say that particular excavation where that person is doing that hill, go affects that hill for cuts down the foot, you understand? So all of them sin and they then get a lot of job for do. You will ask the question, are they collaborating with each other? Or on a way disaster come, then go, they all come, you see this, they come, you see ONS, they come, you see this, they come. Why we not go do the needful rather than we cry every now and then? That is my point.
All right, continue for the with me inside the program. We just joined by Engineer Festus Agu Jones. I hope say I pronounce you Oba Agu Jones. All right, in the president for the Sierra Leone Institute of Engineers. Good afternoon, welcome to Radio Democracy, sir.
Good afternoon, Osman.
Yes,
good afternoon, Osman. Good afternoon, fellow panelists, and good afternoon to all our listeners out there.
All right, but firstly, before we can look at the main topic we get for do with the collapse of building, waiting at the mandate of the Sierra Leone Institute of Engineers.
Right. The mandate of the Ceylon Institution of Engineers now for ensure, good practice of engineering at Sierra Leone, ensure that we engage and register, members, undertake training programs for develop, engineers, particularly, the young engineers, in the country. But also, we also did look at, various aspects of, new design and, how we can, take that on board now we country.
All right, you talk about good practice of engineers. How you assess the country in terms of good practice of engineers?
Wow. Okay, I'll do my best for answer that question. Right, I mean the good practice, how we go try to assess that is to ensure that the guidelines where we don't set, particularly in terms of our registration process, right? To ensure say that all the engineers don't go through proper training, don't get the necessary experience in terms of the number of years where they don't day out to the practice, and before we go ensure that we make sure say they register with the institution. So I mean that in terms of the institution would be how we'll be able to ensure that we assess and have good engineers in the country.
All right, so what are the criteria where somebody forget for be part of our organization?
Well, we get different levels. We get the student membership, following on from associate student membership, then the one where they still in a college where they study. We try to encourage them, for them join, so that at least when they go left, then we're able for continue and become full-fledged members. Then we get the associate members. These are members, and we now get the full qualification for become corporate members. Then we get corporate members. These are those that at least if you don't get a degree from a recognized university, if you don't get at least 3 years experience, practicing as an engineer, most times under the guidance of another senior professional engineer. And then we get the fellows. I mean, these are people and we don't they practice engineering for a number of years, at least a minimum of 10 years. They don't undertake a number of projects. They don't supervise a number of engineers.
All right, we'll come over back to you shortly. Like over to the Director of Relief and Response at the National Disaster Management Agency, Wena Sineman. Recently, we all know the kind of issue where they happen in the country, from fire, flooding, now a collapse of building. Update listeners them so far at this moment within the status or within the data we wanna get with the show of building them we don't collapse.
Yeah, just before this time we'll be talk about fire outbreak. My brother raised a number of issues we very much important because people then continue for the bill in areas they're not supposed to be. I can tell you say all the disasters that we face now, not all natural disasters, these are man-made disasters because rain bound for calm and rain go calm. But if you go build your house na water side, na waterlogged area, you build them na bridge, you build on a mountain top, you build on a swamp, definitely what will happen when it rains? It can go. So disaster management, we go always continue for talk about multi-sectoral. You need multi-sectoral approach. So the question my brother asked you for the corporate, if we begin from multi-sectoral approach, you institution, it get great role. Well, I don't mean your own current institution, even though your institution get important role for play, but you get another government institution. If it not performing function at all, no matter within National Disaster Management Agency be, we go just to go round the circle. That's why we talk about recurrent disaster. Every year you dey get fire outbreak at the same locality. Every year you dey get flooding. Even partners where they come for can support, they tire. They're not they show interest. Because it happen all the time. So we need the collaboration, we need them, and the NDMA Act makes provision for that. When we get then disaster management committee, every key government institution get role for play. They will get interpillar arrangement when a different government ministries, department, agencies they lead. Because if we get big scale disaster like like how we get mudslide, for example, if we get something similar, or bring recent one as the Wellington fire incident, the Ministry of Health, they activate the health and burial pillar, so then go address all health issues. So also other government institutions, collaboration they take place, but I feel we need for collaborate and coordinate more than how they do it. Then to the question of the building collapse, you know, say the months of July, August, September now very, very crucial moments for the management of disasters, because we're then at the peak of the raining season. Before the raining season we can get seasonal outlook of the weather pattern from Sierra Leone Meteorological Agency, then can tell we how the weather get for look like. We all prepare, we coordinate very well with them. Then we get for we can call an emergency coordination meeting, lot plan, lot map resources. They don't tell you say rain get for calm. We get for go na them prone communities, then tell them all prepare together. We get the new trend we the face with now. I can begin for this year for the update of building collapse. The first one be happening on the 15th July. Now Devil Hole, Usa slope, a slope collapse, and 6 houses were destroyed. Then 13 household families them is seriously impacted. So Devil Hole now one we happen on the 1st of July. Usa will get that slope failure. Then we get another one where it be tragic. I know say na in now they from there now we begin pay attention to building collapse. We na the one we happen at Ajasoni Drive. This na SS camp between it could be between Hill Station and Regent. But now a 5-story building, and the engineer there go help me out for describe them. Not to collapse, it collapse. It just sink. It go down. What's I did? It go down. You know, like a 5-story building. And this bring we to another sensitive aspect again. It happened by 11 p.m. we've been here for do coordination again for do search and rescue, because 8 people have been trapped into this building. You see say disaster management again, don't they go into a new phase of search and rescue, because people have been trapped. 8 of them will be able to pull 5 initially. Well, 5 in common force way, 3 been there alive as they go. We later pull 2 out of the 5, 2 been coming away they alive. Later we pull 3, they were dead. So out of the 5, they come out alive, but 3 people end up dying at this place. Look at the nature of what's happening. Now go the building go down. Then after that, we get another incident we happen at K Step. This na Calbaton. And for this incident at K Step, na fence collapse. It come for them by this building made up of dirty block. If the building itself collapse, and that building they collapse, it kill a lady with a 2-year-old boy, with an 18-year-old Pekin, and he made a Pekin. 4 people and die by that particular incident. Then it not been getting need for do search and rescue, because by the time we go there, the people and the community they play very important role in search and rescue. The community. That make we could always say disaster management, not to one institution the manager. By the time we go, the community don't bring them. We coordinate ambulance then come, then we able to take the person go. Then we get another incident we happen on the 23rd of July. This na Moiba, then call it Garden Hilltop Moiba. Instead dirty just cut and cover 6 houses. Even though we not get case of death, but people have been seriously injured. Now within the same period, the time they were the use so. Then on the another serious one again. Construction, not to building the way don't say they are building the building. So the building collapse again. We get for do search and rescue, because the initial information we get, they say that 8 people and they under Other one go tell you say na 6 people and they under. But by the time we conclude the search and rescue operations, we discover say na 4 people and within at the building. We initially 3 been come on alive, 1 dead, but 1 part the people that we come on later died at the hospital. So now been 2 died, 2 saved. Then we come by that very day, we get another story, another report of a building by India Temple, now Wilkinson Road. The top floor of 5-story building. Now the top floor, line collapse. In have been 1 death will be recorded. Will not been get any need for those search and rescue operations. Now that particular building. Then not too long, we not even conclude the exercise now Congo Town. Now we get another building instead of under construction, a 5-story building. Now Joshua, Wellington, instead just collapse. For that building there, will not been get death because people will not be the reside at the building, will not been get any injury because instead being under construction. So we look at the trend and see how things they go. But in total, now been 12 for this whole period. Now a total of 12 deaths we don't record. And you can find out say they are not too, because disaster management, you activate all the structures where you get huge number of people impacted. But the one that are small number of impacted, but then get fatality, people that lost their life. We make with the treat them seriously. So by way of updates for flooding, and especially we get for do with building collapse, and the number of people that were affected. But when you move away from Freetown, we get large farmlands then we don't flood.
All right, Mr. Mansari, we can look at flooding separately, but them be layer we collapse. During the tell una they go na the area there, which community people can tell una?
So most of them they can raise them with they can make complaint at National Disaster Management Agency, and me comment why they make so good for do with me brother initial observations, because when them bring issue like this, a person can't tell you say in fence they post threats to me host the kind where I build this fence can make all the water they can at me host now, you know, or this community be done this so for a long time until this man can build this house. Then this whole community begin flooding, not be the flood in the past. We they do the assessment, we can do them jointly, bring other government institutions, we do them, then we write reports and direct them to that government office we get responsibility for take action. We can follow up, but most times na the challenge can come if they not cooperate, and so it can be a disaster be.
Alright, let's continue for the with we Mr. Mansari. Like over to the engineer. Engineer Festus, what's not the problem at this moment we make we get a recent collapse of building?
Right, thank you. Before we rush to judgment, I go like for say there are several reasons, you know, we can make building and collapse. And let we start from the first stage when at the design, right? You get improper design, sometimes feasibility studies not been take place, adequate sites and soil investigations that not been take place, where leads to improper foundation design and then onto the structural design, right? Then when you don't do the design, the next stage obviously now for Lego get you permit, right? And we know say, right, no construction work not for take place, right, if you not get proper building permit, right? And forget this building permit, you need for submit approved drawings and designs, right? So if approved drawings and designs, sometimes people thinking, you know, if you cut corners, you know, take shortcuts and all the rest of it, you fenway, and you able to forget your building permit, you know, then obviously, you know, that's you know, another cause. And then we will come now to the actual construction, right? When it comes to the construction, right, you get for ensure say you utilize a registered and proper engineer, right, you know, for undertake then construction here, because sometimes you go get defective construction where the contractor they fail for carry out proper works, maybe for, you know, maximize profit, etc. Sometimes, you know, then go use substandard materials, sometimes poor workmanship, and sometimes you go get where building plans are altered, right? For example, you don't start off with a single story, then you decide, say, well, I don't get some extra cash, so I go on for build, 2-story, right? But your original designs, particularly the foundations, were for a single story, and then you go on and build your 2-story. Or sometimes, the even plans can change where it's a residential building, and then you decide for change into a mini factory, you understand me? And then again, that too can, affect the foundation, because with the factory, you get a lot of vibration, you get loading from, heavy equipment, and all the rest of it. And then, the supervision. Again, you need to ensure, say, the building is being supervised by, proper and professional, engineers, we get good ethics and good moral, and willing for be diligent and, undertake, all the processes. But the main reason obviously has to stem from, the foundation. Then, like, we've heard from NDMA, you get natural causes, right? And natural causes, you get heavy rains, heavy storm, flooding, thunder, lightning, and earthquakes, right? So we go put them in 2 categories. We go put the first one on man-made, right? As NDMA has said, most of these causes are man-made, right? And not necessarily due to natural occurrence.
All right. Recently, Mr. Don't they observe most people working there on a flat can decide for turn the house into 2-story. We can see that they check the house, put a pillar around. Is it the best practice of this?
The thing is, if you alter your intention, right, you need to alter the design. You get to go back to the design stage and alter the design for take into account, your new intention. You understand me? But if you want to use the same foundation, the same structural members, right, for carry on and put, 1 or 2 extra floors on top, then obviously, you're heading to disaster.
All right. Building material get anything to do with this? Any substandard material like iron rod or cement?
Yes, obviously. I mean, those are the main, building components. You get the cement, you get the sand, you get the iron rod. So those are the main components. And in relation to that, I know there have been, rumors or there's been talk going on around about substandard, iron rods being used, etc. And I'm glad the way, recently, as he said, the Ministry of Trade and Industry don't give out, a press release towards that, and they're now prepared for take adequate action, for ensure. That adequate materials are being brought into the country and for investigate the matter. So yes, these things could happen. As I said, with the contractor. I mean, if you get a contractor where want for make a little bit of extra profit, you go use less cement, in certain instances. Yeah.
Continue further with me inside the program, engineer. Over to you, Solomon Sundu. We suppose forget Standards Bureau this afternoon the program, but unfortunately we not get somebody. They're not able for pick we call opt-in this time where we do the program. Finger on the point and the Ministry of Trade and Standards Bureau of substandard goods then for Canada, the country. At this moment, who that we for blame, even though not to blame game, but who that we for blame?
Well, I want start from Osai, my brother catch up a very honest topic for say most of them collapse, yeah, a man-made disaster. A case in point, if you are not supposed to build in the wetland in a swamp, right? You go build in water area, and me engineer they talk about planning. The pre-planning now maybe put earlier. If you go, for example, where we talk about the multi-sectorial work between ministries, departments, and agencies. If really you go give land to somebody, other countries would always see they get hilltop, but like governments can plan who sign up for bill and can cut the hill, shade the hill, as to how many story go build on that side. If na shanty house, if na a flat, they will give them design. But we country, we don't know why the Ministry of Works, Housing and Country Planning there, because all of the incident they are from that initial stage, right? But make a catalog the two. If you don't get wetland, just like what the engineer they say, for me, then self get the rule for play. If they win at the engineers at any cost, let that kind of advert they say, if you want for build your house, and no matter the poor way you pour, right? But we get this unit, we then go make an advert of, can do what we call soil test. May you know exactly who say this you host the planning where you they do if now for 2-story, 3-story. Let we know if really the soil go able for all that kind of building there. So once they say, may they look into that. Let there be education on that. Not to all side you for go build, and where you build, make sure say you contact the engineers, may they give you proper advice. Because what they say, everybody want build in Freetown. And if you go meet that engineer for make a good structural design, as I mentioned, design, right? It will take you money, but also would get like them students and we then associates that pro bono, right? We then say go offer, because in any case professional ethic day, what you will render to your country, let us come up and begin offer them services then they as to usai and usai. If you want to put us na any land, whether na flat land, whether na clay soil, whether na whatever soil, wanna make let we know, right? Then my brother talk about the materials where insect and other issues. We don't see this BN10. In those days, we see the rods, 85 millimeters. And go correct me. Now, na cast rod they will see. Rod weight that you go hold for let you even bind or bend that rod they na trouble for you. Now na cast as you bend I don't work. So as you talk about standard brio, we not blame anybody na here. But when institutions and they for work, let we call things by their name. Now make we say we they begin to praise people by your work, right? If the National Disaster Management Agencies then they go out for make sure say they able rescue people not to their own middle. Why they create that unit say? Now because disaster they occur. Now because people they know they do their work. Now because people they go bill aside they will not fit for bill. Now because people and they every now and then when they tell and say when I move from here, they still go there back. That is the point. So for me, let then ministries, departments, and agencies we're responsible. Let them come together. This not to time for blame anybody, but if the standard bureau where they supposed for check materials in this country, will they get substandard goods, not only on building materials. Look at the food what they eat. Will they get food the way they can in this country? People will go stamp, then get their own stamp where they build for themselves in country. Look at the streets. Anytime where you see food then where you can go to supermarket, right? It's expensive. Then you reach a time begin selling a street. Say that food on the reach to an expired date. Now they pull them for let them get boku money, put them at the street. All of them saying they will get for put up per standard bill, so they don't really do work. Yeah, under the Ministry of Trade, I think the standard bill now under the a day. If they don't do them work, right? Let them call them. Would they not fit for the land of the day?
Because the Ministry of Trade self get trade monitors them around.
Oh my God!
If somebody one day within a group they ask say why governments they pay them people in.
Well, that is the 1 million question. Then trade monitors them where did they go? Now for themselves they work, right? Then they connive and they collude with the business people. Even with expired goods, he was say they don't go to eat that chicken, they don't go to eat this. Who said they can do in the first place? When then people are there offload or why they not for the check? Then why are houses them? Waiting they install, waiting they bring come, but now for themselves they work. Because if they go give them pockets, they not go think about the nation and waiting themselves need. So for me, I think say the government need for coming now, all ministries, yeah. If not disaster management get for handle the all issues, I think say like we're saying the director say, may them go back and amend some acts and give them more power. Because if earlier than the way people not supposed to live, may not live there. Standard brios, if they know they do them work, let them put people away they do the work, right? I think so that's what they call for. Because then collapse. Imagine how many lives don't lost? 12. No matter how you see them life. One life lost, important to we all. So now we all life, we call on them, do ya, we know they put blame upon them because then they for rescue. Imagine if disaster they will call, then they don't get no work for do. If breeze not come out with a natural disaster, they no go there, right? The man-made, now you for try for avoid the natural one, like we the engineer talk about earthquake, then earth turmoil, all of them see in the the natural one that one day. But that man-made, let we see how we tackle them. Would that not fit for the outside for the making all the day? That is my recommendation.
All right. Again, another school of thought can say most of the side way people can build, not to command the building. Now people will get money. For example, if you go to Sanders Street around the Choitrams and supermarket, you get a huge big building where for over years made on the area say that building they don't block that gutter, but up till now you see that building they did. Is it that politics cannot mix pan some of the issues that we make governments not able to take action?
Well, salon politics don't spoil everything, but professionalism. Let's look at the professional aspects. The engineers them, just like we two brothers they say. Now make they say, let them they come out frequently, let people know the effects. Because we not only limit them on infrastructural and business. Well, we'll talk about infrastructure, they cut across. Look at roads them. We get your engineers away, now then they go do first, you see, now they go do planning, now they go do visibility studies. What's in that we engineer they do now they look this how you call and this toll road now. You don't see they don't turn a big river every day past and go do one. Who say we your engineer and they will locus? That can be 1 million question, right? But
again, engineer they don't go say most governments not mix them. Especially we get for do it.
But this not this
company the way they come out.
Well, this not the area where they talk say we brother than really get for be proactive rather than reactive. Let not sit down, let other people and usurp the job and give them bad name. Because when one side go faulty, now the engineer they already blame. True or false? It's true. So let us say begin take the bull by its own. Would that not forgive them blame? Let not allow them blame reach them. Because you look at all the other designs when you talk about roads, we get your local engineers then. That they go begin design, that they go show the planning, that under SLR, then they go there, you see. But these are associates of engineers. So engineers, let them go do their work. Let them begin make sure, say, let people know the importance. Or else, that they go get it bad name at the end of the day. Somebody go say, like how you talk, that money man, you go pay the engineer. But if you go get the wrong advice, well, would you go blame at the end of the day? Now, engineer as well. So for me, let them not sit down, let other people and usurp them work. Let them come to the public, let them explain, then get 98.1 in day. They say no, they keep able for come na media, invite civil society, say this are our problem. We say able cascade the message out there. But if they sit down and fall on full foot, it's like everything is fine for them. And at the end of the day, whether they get a bad name, now the engineers.
Alright, I'll cover to you, Mr. Sine. At this moment, you don't identify any build you wanna think in a risk will go cause problem.
In fact, we job for the identify risk. In managing disaster, people can always pay attention to the response. Say, it don't be now the term disaster management agency for can know. In managing disaster, you get the first phase. So you for really then embark on risk reduction activities, the prevention, the mitigation. And when you undertake risk reduction, prevention, mitigation, you always they do assessment. Even if you not can to you notice people that they bring onto your attention. People must tell you say this thing they be. A major one way I know say all government institutions don't take action for make we do something. Now the I am tech building. I think when I don't see on social media, it don't raise lots of concern. Eventually I don't see some press statements or release from the Ministry of Land say let them evacuate that building. That is a major one way of public interest concern, because then say the building just this way they expand. Just as engineers say something, the intention, the original plan, not to forget and to wait it is today. You see, and it has been raised everywhere. If you see the picture, even if you know to engineer, they don't say this na hazard na risk, na disaster in waiting. Yeah. Like you get caught in tree so now by a school. The school get big population. This cutting tree in roots all don't eat now one just small roots. The olam na hazard. In matter of time, if it collapse, it will transform to disaster. So we have series of those buildings where we bring to the attention of the institution we're responsible for take action. From your statements again, you make another important point. If you go by Aberdeen, but to by the bridge, then settlement already by the bridge. If you look by Lumley, the settlement already by just by the sea. Every year you see massively that they reclaim land. Now what's the side? Now what's that they? But they wait for the dries, then go put the pillar, begin do all kind of thing, and as several government institutions they're responsible for take action. If you not do that, what do you expect for also within our water side? You go say a flood, rain come, water go inside, it pour all it in and begin the Allah flooding. You look on go cross bridge. Now water they flow. So if rain come, what do you expect? All time we go there, una they carry all time for car watch, una they do this, that, so. But we are professional because if you tell her why you can't be in our water side. You see? So you go Tombo. The host they all na water side and they. But again, it can float by the side. The member don't hype and this place don't flood. People don't care. But you watch, it is bound to flood. So there's several of those things that way they happen. And of course, we don't make several reports to the director and to the institution responsible. We want to do this together. So we all need to work together. And another component we get significant role are the people themselves, because these are the people building that side way they put their life at risk. Nobody not go tell you how many people they died in Motome. Nobody. But the people themselves, now some of them they act as hazard because they continue for go who side not supposed to be.
All right, Engineer Festus, as you are from the civil society man, and if you look around the social media, finger on the points to now waiting different this time una go do around for let people know say una self gets a role for play or una self or don't they contribute for say most of the issues there are not happen.
Right. Yes, my colleague panelists been talking about engineers and the full and full foot. So, I want to refute that statement. We Park Act 2022, the Regulatory Council Act 2022. And under this act here, nobody, right, not go able for practice engineering or open up an engineering institution, right, when not meets the criteria, right, and when not